What's up, Bears fans? It's mailbag time here on Chicago Bears Now. I am your host, Harrison Graham. Load up your questions by using hashtag Bears or the Super Chat function. If you Super Chat, we'll be sure to get those on the show, but we'll get to as many hashtag Bears questions as well. From Dave is Beastly, the Lions will get squashed in Week 1 and Don Burr will cry. Yeah, pretty brutal draw for the Lions. They're going to Arrowhead Stadium to play the defending champs, Kansas City Chiefs, to open the season on Thursday Night Football. I'll tell you this, if Detroit somehow wins that game, that's sending a pretty strong message to we can live up to the hype. I'm not convinced they can. I feel like the hype is too strong for a franchise like the Lions. We'll see. We're going to find out a lot about them on opening night. Frank De La Mora, appreciate the $10 super. Bears will have top 3 fastest wide receiver group in the NFC. It's certainly a good one, and it's up there, and it's much improved. DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, Chase Claypool, Velus Jones, and Tyler Scott all can burn. They all have really good speed. Even Dante Pettis has good speed. I don't know if he's going to make the team. Equinemius, not really a burner, but you've got some guys who can go on this offense. And you got a couple other guys at other positions that can as well. Khalil Herbert out of the backfield. So excited about that. The Bears offense is, it's not a unbelievably talented group, but it's much better. I would say it's at least league average, if not better. It's you've gotten a lot better overnight. Sangre Kim, we get Caleb Williams plus Marvin Harrison Jr. using the Panthers pick. So he's saying, if the Bears are bad and they want to trade Justin Fields or whatever after the season, draft Caleb Williams, get Marvin Harrison Jr. The only way that happens is if both your pick and the Panthers pick are in the top 3 or 4. And to get Caleb Williams, you're probably going to have the number 1 pick. Maybe Drake May goes number 1 overall if he has a better year this year. But Caleb Williams right now is considered that guy. Marvin Harrison, I think at worst, is going to go top 5. So this year would have to go really bad for that to be the case. But I guess if you're bad, be really bad and then reset at quarterback there. To be clear, I think Justin Fields is going to be the guy. Raging Bull, $10 super chat. If the Bears win the NFC North, are we going to have a party? If we're live, well, we will be live every single game. And if the Bears clinch the NFC North, we're going to be partying. We're going to be taking shots just like I'm about to here for Raging Bull, $10 super chat. And we're going to have a time because you know what? The Bears have not won this division since 2018. Cheers. And it's time to take the North back. Like Ryan Poles said when he took this job, that's the goal. Take the North back and go from there. So I don't see why not. This division's wide open. It's a 4-team division. So why not the Bears? Why not the Bears? Chicago Bears news, rumors, more off-season videos. We got you covered on a daily basis. Hit that subscribe button. The road to 67,000 subs is here. We're just over 500 subscribers away. Don't miss out. Support the movement. Turn on those notifications as well. That way you never miss any coverage. Larry Lapper, what if Fields matches last year's throwing stats? Then he's probably not the guy, Larry. I'd have to see context of what made that be the case, but if there aren't major injuries and he's a 60% guy and if he doesn't hit 3,000 passing yards, he's probably not the guy, Larry. I know I've been higher on him and you've been lower on him and we've had disagreements, but I will be more critical of the quarterback this year. I can promise you that. DePolish Hardware Store. How do we feel if we pick up Jadeveon Clowney? I would love that. He's not my top edge guy to go get. I think he's the best run-stopping one out there. So if the Bears want to prioritize a run-stopping, edge-sealing type of player, he's that guy. I would rather get a pass rusher. Clowney can rush the passer, but the sack numbers kind of waver with him. I'd rather go with a more pure pass rush guy, but Clowney would be great. Any veteran edge rusher that can be productive, help this team out this year, probably just on a 1-year deal for one of those guys, but I'd be in. I would love Jadeveon Clowney. Philip Stafford, how does our receiving core compare with the rest of our division? Well, you just go through it, right? I mean, let's just focus on the trio, right? And, we can mention Tyler Scott and Velus Jones, but DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, Chase Claypool. A lot of it's projection, but DJ Moore's pretty proven. Claypool has had success in this league, although last year was a disappointment, but the trade made it difficult for him, I think. And then Darnell Mooney, when healthy, has been a solid player. Compare that to Green Bay. I like Christian Watson, but he's been in the league 1 year. He's not better than DJ Moore. Romeo Doubs, solid player. They got Jaden Reed, but that's an even younger group. I'll go advantage Bears. I'll lean Minnesota. I think the Bears trio, I think whoever the Bears three is, whether it's Mooney or Claypool, is better than KJ Osborne. But Jefferson and Jordan Addison, I know we're projecting with Addison, but Jefferson's just that damn good. Like if you made me pick, I would flip with Minnesota, but it's close. I think the Bears have more depth at receiver, but Jefferson just kind of gives them the edge for me. And then Lions, Jamison Williams, who's going to miss 6 games, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. They don't really have much after that. Josh Reynolds, I like the top 2, but I'll go advantage Bears. So Vikings, Bears, and then Lions and Packers are kind of neck and neck there. Eric Ellsworth, what completion percentage is required for Fields to be the QB for the future? I mean, it really just depends, right? Like, I don't want to put an exact number on it because if he completes 62% of his passes, but he throws for 3,800 yards and 25 touchdowns against 12 picks, I'd say that's a pretty damn good year. Is that better or worse than 67%, but only 3,000 yards and, 18 touchdowns? I think there's context to all this stuff. Like, if he's challenging teams downfield and his yards per attempt is pretty high, but the completion percentage is a tick lower than, 65 or something like that, I'm fine with that. He doesn't need to be a 70% guy. Get me to 63%, 64, hit some big plays, continue to be a weapon with his mobility. If he can do those things, I think that'd be a really, really good step in the right direction. What is your favorite game on the Bears' schedule? Let me know. We know all of the opponents. Favorite game on the schedule? Packers Week 1, anybody? Let me know. What is your favorite game? Maxwell, how many rushing touchdowns is Fields going to have this season? He had 8 last year. I don't think that number probably changes a lot. I think the rushing yards comes down. At least we should want it to come down. We don't want Justin Fields running for 1,100 yards. That means he's running too much. I think 6 to 8 is a good number again. I think in the red zone, Luke Getsy should use him as a weapon. Designed runs, he should have the free will to take off and make plays when things aren't there. We know the passing game tightens up, the windows tighten up in the red zone. So I'll say 8 again. I mean, can he throw for 22 to 25 touchdowns, run for 8, 30-plus scores? He had 25 touchdowns last year. That's a pretty good number total-wise overall. It's just we need more volume and consistency in the passing game. Larry, again, what's your expectations for this defense ranking? I mean, overall, I don't have huge expectations. I think the linebacker room's good with Edwards, Edmonds, and Noah Sewell and Jack Sanborn. That should be a good group. I don't think it's going to be a good pass rush based on what we know right now. But this was the worst defense in football after the Roquan trade last year. Can it be the 25th best defense? Because I think the secondary could be good. It's young, but it could be good. Jalen Johnson, Tyreek Stevenson, Kyler Gordon. I like the potential there. It's young, but good potential. Eddie Jackson, Jaquan Brisker. If you get an adequate-ish pass rush, 30-plus sacks, you had 20 as a team last year, can you give me 32? I think they'll be better against the run. 25th best defense, if this is the 25th best defense and a top, I think more importantly, how high can the offense shoot? Can this be a top half offense? Give me top 15 offense, 25th best defense. I'd take that. Patrick Richardson, what's the Bears' floor and ceiling? I think the floor is 6 wins. I mean, this team went 3-14 last year. They traded as many of their players as they possibly could, basically, and they went 1-8 in one-score games. They easily could have won 7 games last year. So if they win less than 6 and there aren't major injuries, that's a problem, in my opinion. I would say 6 is the floor, 11 is the ceiling, probably somewhere in the middle, based on the schedule and the division being manageable. So, I think this is probably a 7 to 10 win team, somewhere in that range. So we'll see what happens. Spam Bear Down in the comments. Be loud, be proud. Let's get the Bear Downs going here on Chicago Bears Now. And as far as that win total goes, I think, if Fields makes a giant leap, who knows? With how open the NFC is, with all the elite quarterbacks for the most part being in the AFC, who knows what could happen? Bear down, let's get it popping. From our good pal Wyatt, did someone say Justin Fields is an MVP this year? Enter the MVP candidate. I don't know who said that, but I think you did. Go Cubbies, big win last night. I was reacting to Dan Orlovsky saying that Fields would be an MVP candidate. I said in the video that I wouldn't go that far. I think you'll see on some lists, like come training camp, like articles, trendy MVP candidates, dark horse MVP, and Fields will be one of those guys. I don't think he'll be an MVP candidate this year. I think he could be one of the most improved players. I think he improved a lot last year. I think he could improve a lot more with the pieces they got around him, but it's up to him to do it. Second year in this system with Getsy, you've got adequate pieces around you. It's go time. Let's go. Super chat from Bad Guy Eyes. Give us an early prediction for stats and score for the Bears and Packers week 1. Early prediction, I think the Bears should win that game. Like, that should be the mindset. You're beating Green Bay at home week 1. Got to end this streak. Rodgers is gone. In my eyes, you have the better quarterback. Maybe Love ends up being great, but he's got a lot to prove. Way more than Fields does, to be honest, and he's in year 4. Love is. I'm going to go 24-16 Bears win at home. Justin Fields, 3 total touchdowns, 2 passing, 1 on the 1 rushing, 227 yards passing, 58 yards rushing. There you go. Tuna to Fish, am I the only one scared that the Vikings haven't really fallen off? I mean, they just went 13-4. See, they were the opposite of the Bears, though. Now, let me be clear. They were clearly a better team than the Bears last year. But they went, I think, 11-1 in one-score games. Historically, when teams either are really bad in one-score games or really good in one-score games, the next year that reverts back to the mean. Now, I don't think they're going to go 1-11 in one-score games, but they'll probably be more like 500 in those games. Like, if they go 500 in those, 6-6 instead of 11-1, you take 5 wins away, they're 8-9. I think they're right there in that 8-10 win range, kind of like the Bears could be, kind of like the Lions could be. Now, if you had to ask me today, do I think Minnesota or Chicago is a better pure team overall? I might lean Minnesota, but I don't think it's like far-fetched at all to think that the Bears could be better this year. Like, we saw the Vikings get exposed. In every big game they played last year, they got beat. They lost to the Giants down the stretch. They lost to them in the playoffs. And that Giants team wasn't that good. The Bears played toe-to-toe with them for 4 quarters. So, I think Minnesota is a decent to above-average team. Clayton Stoker, who do you think will return punts and or kicks? I'm thinking Scott on kick return and Pettis on punt return. Dude, if Velus Jones, in that scenario, you're telling me Velus doesn't make this team. Because if Velus makes the team and isn't at least your kick returner, that's a problem. Like, it's already looking like a bad draft pick there. If anything, I don't think – ideally, Pettis doesn't make the team, if we're being real. Because that means Velus Jones has taken a proper step. And that's nothing against Pettis, but you want to go younger there. I would say, if anything, Velus on kick return and Scott on punt return. Now, if Velus is returning punts, great, but he's got to prove he can catch the damn ball on punts because that was a problem last year. All right, guys, appreciate you loading up your questions on today's mailbag. If we didn't get to your question, hit me up on social media. Still got to catch up on some DMs. Haven't been able to get to as many recently with the birth of my son. At HGramNFL on Instagram and on Twitter. Going to catch up with everybody, so if you have any questions, hit me up there. I am Harrison Graham. Bear down, subscribe. Appreciate you guys for watching this mailbag.